God known to each of us and provide the strength and wisdom to perform the duties and fulfill the responsibilities required by our oaths of office. May our actions be pleasing to God and meet the expectations of the citizens we serve. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's call the meeting to order for Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. Welcome to seasonal depression. Time change and it gets darker by the minute every day. So this is my least favorite time of the year. Weather-wise, it's great, but time change is horrible for me. Anyway, council members, you have minutes from the public hearing on September 17th, as well as the regular council meeting from September 17th. What is your pleasure?
I move we approve them as.
Patrick and Paul will say each other. Hey, have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? You guys are just nod. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We don't have anyone signed in for public comment. Department updates, I will say that you have the reports in front of you, but for the sake of letting everybody know, the Highland Park project is moving along. Bids, you had your bids go out, Danny, when? Your bid meeting?
We had a pre-bid meeting today.
Okay.
The bids are due the 11th.
And actually, how many, 12 showed up today for the pre-bid?
Yes.
As you guys know, with applications for employment and everything, and for the pre-bids that we've been having, there's been little or no participation, so it was nice to see 12 people at the pre-bid today. Made it a little more competitive for us, and also, we've been letting those folks on Highland Park know regularly what stage we're in. So they kind of have a spokesperson, I've been talking to him. And I know that Chris Blanton has been talking to them, and Danny has been talking to them as well, to let them know where we're on the process. So it's nice to see that project finally moving along. If there are no questions for your reports that you have, we don't have old business, but we do have a few items of new business. And I'm sorry to say, but not sorry to say, we have 2 items on first reading, which means no discussion tonight. But the first is consideration of approval of ordinance 2024-06, authorizing the rehabilitation of existing stormwater system extending from the intersection of Lake Street and Brady Drive to Tanner Branch through private property in the village of Barboursville, and approving the use of ARPA funds and city sales tax funds monies to pay for the Lake Street storm drain rehabilitation project and other purposes related thereto on the first reading. Mark, is it okay to explain that project at all, or do we need to wait till the second time?
You can explain it, yes.
Danny, do you want to speak to that, man?
Yes, we have about almost 1,200 lineal feet of 36-inch pipe. There's 3 or 4 different kinds of pipe. We have concrete pipe, we have corrugated metal pipe, we have arch corrugated metal pipe, we have box culvert that's made out of cinder blocks with a concrete cap. So, and then one portion of the pipe goes within about 3 feet of your aunt's house that we replaced some time ago. And then another portion goes under the beauty shop that's in Thornburg Street, and then goes under the corner of a house. So to dig those up is basically impossible. So we're planning to do what's called SIPP, which is spray in place pipe. So what they do is put a device in there and it sprays around and around until they get it all done.
It's a liner, basically. Technology is actually good, and the storm lines they're talking about were set years before any of us were here, obviously. So this should take care of the issue for years to come. And honestly, this is probably a proactive approach rather than reactive. As Danny said, that one of those pipes is actually under the corner of our house. So that pipe collapses because of failure, that we have a real problem. But I want to say that I appreciate Jason, Danny, and Chris all working on the issue to get us to finality for these things. But this is the first reading, so I'll entertain a motion and a second. We'll move on with consideration of ordinance 2024-06. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is consideration of approval of ordinance 2024-07, authorizing rehabilitation of about 280 lineal feet of the existing 72-inch stormwater system extending from Coon Street along Tanner Branch through a portion of the skate park facility in the Village of Barboursville, approving the use of ARPA and city sales tax funds to pay for Tanner Branch storm drain rehabilitation in that area. Again, this is the first reading. Dana, did you want to speak to that, sir, if you don't mind?
This pipe goes underneath a portion of the skate park. It's a 72-inch structural plate pipe. I don't know if you know what that means or not, but it's pipe that's put together in pieces and riveted together. The bottom is out, totally rusted out of a big portion of it. So we think it needs to be rehabilitated rather than let it collapse and then have to dig everything out of it. So we're asking for proposals of two different methods. One is the spray in place method, and the other is to insert another liner pipe inside, which would be a smaller diameter.
Better idea.
But people would say would it carry as much water, and the type pipe it is, it would carry more water because it's there's an equation that's used, it's called a Manning's number constant, and it's such that it's less friction. So
I'll also say, I'll send you guys a video of the spray in place. It's actually pretty cool technology that we have the ability to save some money rather than having to have catastrophic failure of that area. So, having said that, the first reading of ordinance 2024-07 is before you. I'll entertain a motion in a second. There's a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is consideration of approval of purchase order agreement with Compass Minerals for 200 tons of de-icing salt at a maximum price of $103.90 per ton. John's worked on the quote. Do you want to speak to that, sir?
Yeah, I do want to update you that I was able to get them to lower that price to $100.90 per ton. The price that we have there is actually last year's price, and so I called them. I was like, can we do anything? And so that was what they came back with. Also, I contacted the same people from the state that offered us their surplus last year, and I have not been given any. They said they would ask up the chain and then get back to me, and they have not responded. But this is the company that we've gone with for many years. Also, this only requires 80% purchase, so even though we have 200 tons listed here, we only have to buy 160 tons.
Thank you very much. So the consideration is at $100.90 per ton then for the approval of the purchase order with Compass Minerals.
I'll make a motion to purchase 200 tons at 190.
Further discussion?
I do have a couple things. Number one, thanks for asking. It's always, I usually ask this question and the price hasn't gone up. I just wonder how much it went up. So thanks for even reaching out and asking. Getting us $3 to $3 a ton. What is our storage capacity? And then how much do we have left over residual from last year?
We've got about 100 tons right now in storage. So we never know what kind of winter we're going to have. So
Right.
and we've talked about building an additional building so we could have more salt on hand. But we just haven't got to that yet.
We've also been pretty lucky with the surplus from Huntington and the Department of Highways the last couple of years. We haven't really had a really harsh winter in a while, but it seems like there's always somebody willing to lend a hand, or we can lend a hand to as well. So we'll keep an eye on it. Compass Minerals is always pretty good about having a discussion with us about actually what we need it, but more times than not, we can find it locally, but we haven't had to do that in several years.
And then where does that come from? Are they trucking in from pretty far off, or is that more local?
There's a Portsmouth.
Portsmouth. Okay. That's all I know.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are to closing comments and remarks from council members. I'll start this evening. I want to say a couple of things, Chief. There's been several texts and emails that I've gotten on your officers over the last couple weeks for various things. Customer, your citizen-based values that you get for handling certain situations. I just got one this evening for how Officer Meadows handled an accident down in front of HIMG. So please extend to those guys. It doesn't go unnoticed, and it's with regularity. So please tell them all that we appreciate their work. As well as for Fall Festival, there was not a blip on the radar for Fall Festival. I think that all of our city workers as well, all of our internal staff here at City Hall, it was a banner year for Fall Fest. We had a fantastic turnout for concerts. We had a fantastic turnout the whole week. The parade was different because of our guests, but I don't think we've had a sitting governor in our parade before. So it was nice to have. I know it's an election year, but it's still nice to have a sitting governor come and be in the parade. Baby Dog, everyone loves Baby Dog, so it turned out really well. So I want to thank all the city workers, all the first responders that were there for various reasons, and please make sure to pass that along. Mark, John, Danny, for your work on the ordinances this week as well. I know there's a lot that goes into that, and that also does not go unnoticed. So Mark, thank you for your work.
I think I wrote too much. I was looking at it right here.
Well,
You didn't miss your words.
I'm just glad I don't have to do the lawyer speaking, so I'm thankful for you as well. That is all I have. And of course, thanks to the council for supporting the Fall Fest every year. I think it, for whatever reason it is, it brings people together, whether they're planning a family reunion around it, whether they are just in town to get out of their house. But I think people really enjoy it when we block the streets off and they get to come together and hang out. So it was a good year. So thanks to you guys for your support of that event.
I will echo that, and thankful that Fall Fest went off without any major bumps or anything, and we couldn't do it without everybody's hands helping, and I appreciate all the work from the officers to the street employees to my girls here in the office, everybody that helps with everything we need, and I really appreciate that. Mark, I appreciate all the work you do for us. Just reading this little thing, you do write a lot. So, but thank you, but thank you for doing your work to the best of your ability. I appreciate that.
I'll say one other thing about Fall Fest too, just in case anyone asks. We've kind of floated things around for next year, and everybody's always like, who's the Grand Marshal Parade? Obviously, Baby Dog was this year. We got kind of late notice, but Bev Mills, who's been our pageant director for ever, will be our Grand Marshal next year for the parade, and I think it's well deserved. She's served Fall Fest in the city well, and so she'll be our Grand Marshal of the parade next year. Unless we have like 5 Little League state championships or World Series champions. World Series champions. They goes. All the girls.
I just want to echo what everybody said. Fall Fest was very good. Thank you all in the city, for the girls in the office, the employees, police officers. Everybody just went wild and did a great job. The street were cleaned up afterward without any problem, and I mean, it just was a good day. Thank you all for coming tonight. Just have one thing that I need to bring up. I met with a resident on Mohawk, and she's really concerned about the Jack McKenna field. I know it's under, they got a new president, but she wanted me to pass this on to everybody. She said the lights are staying on after 11 o'clock, and the buildings are still unlocked. They're not locking any of the buildings, which is causing some problems with vagrants and people that are getting in buildings. She'd like to have a dusk to dawn light, which there was at one there before. The bathroom's not been winterized. And at the end of her street, there are people starting to park direct, and they're blocking her driveway. She'd like to have another sign that says resident parking. Jack did a heck of a job keeping that field and making sure that everything was maintained and taken care of, and we just need to make sure we proceed with what he's already started. So if you don't mind passing that on to the president of the world. That's all I have.
One other thing I forgot to mention, we did look into lighting for the dog park, and we're gonna adjust it on there as well. We got okay from CSX.
Excellent.
So that'll be moving along as well. Danny took a look at lighting over there. We're gonna have State Electric to make sure, come in and do a lighting assessment to make sure we're not intruding on the neighbors who live on Depot Street. But we think we've got approval. We'll let State Electric come in and weigh in on it, and we'll do some lighting over there. So it's coming.
And I'll send this information
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, please do if you don't care. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing that always amazes me about Fall Fest is, I've been to every one of them, and there's no crime. I mean, we don't, the police do an amazing job, the citizens do an amazing job of just taking this opportunity for Americana to be a good experience year after year with, it's amazing that you can, in 2024, can let your kid go to the carnival rides and, not have to be stressed out. Heard positive things about the concert on Saturday night, and street people are always amazing. I mean, you leave and you say, what a mess, and then you come back the next morning and it doesn't look like anything ever happened. I can't remember if I mentioned it last time or not, but if we could give some disposable trash cans for the parade, and then if it's salvageable, take them to the Fall Fest up in town, because I know that there was a lot of people that just had the trash from the parade and they didn't know what to do. Not disrespectfully, it's put in people's yards, but I think if we could give them something obvious on all the corners for them to throw their trash, it would hopefully make more people responsible.
We used to have a contract, and I'll be honest with you, it was an oversight this year. We used to have those cardboard boxes by the gross, and whatever reason, it just got overlooked this year. So absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah, I know some people that can sponsor it, it needs to be sponsored. That's one thing that I think we could improve on, and maybe a larger budget on candy.
Well, the street sweeper really.
We're saving money.
Save it for next year. We ran out of candy, might have been the length of the parade, but we ran out of candy by the time we got here. And sidewalks in Farmdale, it's doing great, so excited for that. It's moving along, it's gonna be a huge enhancement to the citizens, so that's a good move on our part to spend some of our funds, even though it's a state road, that we can see that it's a betterment for our city and our citizens. That's all I got.
I'll echo everyone about Fall Fest. It's a great experience, small town life, seeing everybody you know and just enjoying it. Being able to allow your kids to run around freely. I don't think there's anywhere I went that I wasn't within eyesight of some law enforcement presence. From the parade, the whole route of the parade, down at the carnival rides, uptown here, so it was great just to have the presence there. And of course, the employees that take care of everything behind the scenes. From a tractor driver, one of our best assets every parade. Thanks for sitting there having it ready for us every time. Just show up like I always do. Hop on the ride. Appreciate you. But no, thanks to everybody, all the employees that make it happen. I know there's a lot behind the scenes that takes place, and a lot of headache, planning, but it's always a great time. Great to see people enjoy themselves. I was approached by, I just want to give everybody a heads up, Barboursville Youth Football approached me about requesting an additional facility to store more equipment. So I told them to get a plan together. So they are going to be presenting a plan next meeting. They plan to bring something to see, and they are planning to assist and make things happen. So just a heads up, everybody, that'll be coming next meeting as well. So it would be a good addition to that complex there. So free up some space for our own stuff as well. So, and I think that's all I've got.
We'll say thanks for the links the other day to the grant issues, and I passed those along to Lacey.
Okay.
So we'll get moving on those. The National Park Service Foundation grant is one we've applied to before, but we've never applied. And last year, we didn't meet the population requirements because they were too large. They were doing cities of, I think it was astronomical, like 50,000 and more. So it didn't qualify one city in the state of West Virginia, but Senator Manchin, Senator Capito went to bat on our part. This year we'll be eligible to apply for those grant monies for park and things that we've all talked about receiving federal money. So thank you for sending those over.
The baseball league is looking to get assistance for grants with lighting and different things like that. So Lacey's going to try to run that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sending it over. And also, Jimmy, I was going to say thanks to you too. I didn't leave you out, but thanks for always driving us in the parade. We appreciate you, and Anytime there's a tractor in front of me, I'm always happy, because if I could have a tractor in my front yard, I've told Paul and Cindy this for years, I'd have a tractor in my front yard, but my neighbors probably wouldn't like it. But anyway.
You already live, right? You park one out there.
You can, bring that big green Oliver up, buddy. I'm telling you. Anyway, thank you for taking care of us, of course. Department heads, you guys good?
I have something to say.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Since Donnie's not here, I'm gonna take this.
Oh, do it.
Jimmy, I forgot to thank you. Thank you so much for taking care of us every year like you do. It's so nice to be able to hop on the trailer here, go up there and be ready. And I appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
I'm an amateur, but I'm trying.
You're a pro at making that
Nobody's
wrong
fallen off
turn and
yet.
dropping us off.
Yeah.
You're a pro.
Yeah, nobody's falling off
That's
yet.
the best there.
Exactly right.
He had a hard time getting back here too.
Oh, I bet.
Traffic
Oh, yeah,
was
it was
crazy. It was late that night when you made it back.
Good fighters, people.
So thank you.
Rachel, I want to thank you. I know the first year is the hardest, and you have done really good. I appreciate everything you do for us, because it's a tough job, and it's something that you are not equipped to do, but you learn. So thank you for taking care of us.
Department heads, you guys good? Very good. I'll thank everybody for coming. We'll adjourn the meeting.